Hi guys, this is Ranjit and welcome to the June's Tech Q&A session. And I know yes, I'm a little bit late, but here I'll be answering a variety of questions. Took about 20 odd questions from Twitter. So let's go with this one. I've got some very interesting questions also. What's the future of the channel if I want to change and stuff like that? Weird questions. But anyways, first question I got is from Mr. Adarsh. And this is something that I have answered even earlier also. But let me just take it again. He is asking, my question is how much money is it good enough to put on a smartphone? Like I'm a guy who uses everything on the phone for everyday task and wants a clean experience. What do you think or suggest? I'm currently using the Nothing Phone 1, which I bought for 18,000 on OLX. The Nothing Phone 1 for 18K is a very good I would say pricing. Adarsh, but I would say the thing I suggest to people is that how much do you want to spend on a smartphone? Again, it will depend widely different from a person to person based on how much he is earning. But what do you say? One thing is blunt is that if any smartphone you're looking at, you'll have to actually look into EMI to buy that device. That means that smartphone is priced a little bit higher than your comfort factor. I would say the most comfortable thing that if you can buy that smartphone, if it's priced also twice of it, let's say the pricing of that smartphone is 20,000, but you can easily spend 40,000 also without thinking about it, then you can really afford a phone. So that is what you should look at. And I hate the fact that people are buying very expensive phones on EMIs and stuff like that. If you really have to take an EMI to purchase a smartphone, that means you are spending a lot more than you should. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is from Ankit Bivas. He's asking Galaxy Buds 2 Pro and Sony XM5000. Both are actually very good TWS. And let me say, if both are priced at the same price point, then obviously I would say the Sony XM5s will go ahead. But generally, I've seen the Galaxy Buds 2's pricing actually goes a lot lower. Sometimes it as low as like 11,000-12,000, and if that's the case, then you can go with the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro because they also sound very good. And now there is a Samsung event in July 10th, and I'm hearing rumors that the Galaxy Buds 3 series or the 3 Pros or whatever will also be launched. So I think so the pricing of the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro will fall down considerably. So if you're going to able to get it for a very good deal, the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro still sound very good, I would say. But again look at those deals, I would say, not the regular pricing. This is by Sanchez. He's asking a very interesting question, and I've got similar questions from quite a few of you, and this is regarding the new laptops with the new Snapdragon chipset for Windows laptops. What are your thoughts on the new Snapdragon X Elite laptops? Do you think it will pose a serious threat to Apple, as people who shifted to Apple just for the battery life? And I personally haven't tested yet any of the laptops with the Snapdragon X Elite, but I have actually I've seen a lot of videos and also interacted with some of the people who got access to it internationally. And surprisingly, this time I would say the Snapdragon X Elite laptops are a game changer. Not only they can compete with the top-end Intel and AMD laptops, but they run a lot cooler, and also in terms of battery life, anywhere from about 20 to 25% more than the Intel counterparts. So I feel right now is one of the best times after a very long time. I would say we are getting a Windows laptop with this sort of performance, and again also it's actually pretty powerful. I thought in terms of power, it won't compete with the Intel and the AMD, higher end chips, but that's not the case. It's doing that. And also because it's based on ARM architecture, the battery life is also very good. Heating is very less. And the best part is that many of the non-native, that is ARM-based optimized app, that is the older x86 apps, are also working on it. So this time I feel the stars have aligned perfectly for Windows laptop. It's just that I feel these vendors are charging quite a bit of premium because most of these laptops are sitting on the higher end spectrum. But again, if you really wanted a Windows laptop with top-notch specs, the great battery life, no heating and stuff, you can definitely have a look at it. I'm also actually hoping some of the brands that have launched these new laptop will send it for review, but as of now I haven't got it. But if I get it, I will definitely test them out. Looking actually forward to Windows-based laptop after a long time, to be very frank. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Kripa. In your opinion, which UI or OS is best among the Android devices? I would say here I'll be a little bit biased because I generally prefer closer to stock Android experience. So I like the Moto UI, and I would say that's the first preference. Of course, Pixel will be there because that's stock Android, but second will be the new Moto UI, and the third I like is the Nothing one. But the Nothing, I would say, I don't like some of the quirky things that they do, but these are the ones that I like. But for most users who are not gung-ho about close to stock Android, I would say still the Samsung One UI would be the best option. They have optimized it very well. That jitterness or lag that we used to have with TouchWiz UI is completely gone, and also it's very, very functional now. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Vinayak, sorry. Why is the Jio Air Fiber not successful as compared to the traditional fiber? As I've seen a lot of videos and people aren't liking the Air Fiber. I would say if you already have in your area, what do you say, wired fiber connection, the Air Fiber simply does not make any sense, because in terms of latency, the quality of the connection, the Air Fiber, it's on basically running on wireless, simply cannot match the latency and everything that you get with direct fiber connection. And again, the pricing is also almost same as the dedicated regular broadband connection that you are getting. So I feel it's not a great deal. In fact, I would say if you already have a good fiber connection in your home, Air Fiber simply does not make sense. I have actually got the Jio Air Fiber in this location, and also have the ACT fiber connection. My main internet connection is ACT fiber, and I use it mostly, I would say. But this is slightly remote area, and the fiber gets cut almost every week for me, so it disrupts my work. That's the only reason that I've opted for this Jio Air Fiber, which acts as my backup connection when my main connection goes down. But if your primary connection that is running on fiber is very, very stable, no way you should go for Air Fiber. The latency is bad. Sometimes you will get buffering. Gaming is not a good experience on that. So again, I would say Air Fiber is for someone who simply does not have a good quality broadband connection, or for a person like me who has a good wired connection but is looking for a backup connection because he simply can't afford the downtime. This is by Dipanjan. He is asking, what's the reason for people falling out of interest for phones in general? Like earlier, people would talk a lot about tech and phones and watch videos every day, but nowadays it's very less. And what tech creators could do about it? I would say the smartphone industry has actually matured. This happens in any industry. I would say, for example, laptops, etc., were also getting boring because of the same thing again and again. And but now that ARM-based chips have come, so there'll be interest in laptops. But smartphones, if you look at it, the rate of innovation that we used to get about even, let's say, 7-8 years ago is simply not there now. The form factor has been polished. Foldables also, they thought that will be the holy grail, but yeah, foldables are there, but it's not for everyone, I would say. So I would say in terms of raw excitement, today you no longer have to upgrade your phone every year. I used to remember that earlier, 5-6 years ago, everybody used to wait for the next generation of the phone because the upgrades were that significant. But this time it's no longer the case. It's like the new smartphone is like a utility, and if you buy a decent smartphone, it'll last for 3-4 years, and you just buy a new smartphone because your old one is having some problems or something like that. It's not like a must-have upgrade, because that's how the technology has matured. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Gautam. Hi Ranjit, I follow your reviews. What are your views on the best mobile projector for homes in 2024? Also, what do you think about the Samsung Freestyle 2nd generation? Is it worth consideration? Gautam, I would say, as you're telling you want a portable home projector for your home, that means I'm feeling that you want to carry it around your home anywhere. Also, it should have built-in battery backup and stuff like that. I would not recommend you the Samsung Freestyle 2nd generation. I haven't tested the 2nd generation, but I had tested the 1st generation. And I would say for the price, what Samsung is actually charging for that projector is pretty weak, I would say. I personally have actually also purchased a portable projector. That's the BenQ GS50. I think so. Now the new model has come, and it's also a portable projector. In fact, it'll cost less than the Samsung Freestyle. But in terms of performance, the lumens output and the color accuracy, it's almost twice or thrice as better as the Samsung one. So you can, if you're looking specifically for a portable, what do you say, projector with built-in battery, you can definitely have a look at that BenQ GS50. I had purchased it about 1.5 years ago. I think so. A new model of that has come in the market. So I would not suggest that. Also, there is a model I don't recall, Epson also, but you can look at it. I would personally, if I have to buy it, I will not go for the Samsung Freestyle, because for the price what it is, you're getting a lot less, I would say. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Nawaz. As the launch is just around the corner, what are your expectations from the upcoming Nothing Phone 3? I don't know about the dates when the Nothing Phone 3 etc. is launching, but we know that it will be having the new Snapdragon 8s Gen 3, which even the Moto Ultra or this CV is having. It'll be very interesting to see how would they price it. I hope they don't do the bonker stupid pricing like what the Motorola did with the Ultra. I don't feel that the 8s Gen 3, again remember guys, 8s Gen 3 is not a superior processor, and actually it is slightly lower than the 8 Gen 2 in terms of performance. It's just the Qualcomm stupid marketing gimmicks that is fooling people. So I don't know how will they price it. I am expecting that it might come at around 45,000, but now this what do you say, Xiaomi Civi is also available. I think so. This was for 40,000. So this is going to be a very tough competitor, because in the camera department with this Leica optimization and stuff, that might go ahead to the Nothing Phone 3. So it'll be very interesting times, and I'm also looking curious about Nothing. What will they do with the pricing? Because again, if you recall, most of the Nothing phones don't even come with a charger and stuff like that. So that's an extra cost. So keeping my fingers crossed about it. Let's see. And I hope this time Nothing actually changes the smartphone's form factor. I have quite a bit hopes for the Nothing Phone 3, but keeping my fingers crossed, I would say. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Dasgupta. 8s Gen 3 or the 7 Plus Gen 3, which is better optimized for overall smartphone. Also, which processor would you prefer among these two? I'll be very blunt. I would say between the 8s Gen 3 or the 7 Plus Gen 3, yes, the 8s Gen 3 is slightly better. 8s Gen 3 is nothing but the 7 Plus Gen 3 plus, you could say. The GPU is slightly more optimized. There is slightly more optimization in the NPU and FF. So if the pricing is the same, I would say 8s Gen 3 is the way to go. But I don't like what some of the vendors are doing with the 8s Gen 3. I don't want to pay over 45,000 for the 8s Gen 3. For example, you are able to get the 7 Plus Gen 3 around the 30 and the 35,000 price point. So that price gap of what they are doing of almost 12 to 15,000 more for just the 8s Gen 3, that is not justified. But again, if pricing is the same, yes, the 8s Gen 3 is a slightly better processor. Slightly, I would say. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is about Rohan. Why are people scared to pick Motorola over OnePlus or other devices under 30 to 35,000? I think so, Rohan, this is because of the history of Motorola's phones and the software updates. If you recall, even the Motorola Edge series, the H20 and the H30, the updates, Android updates were delayed by crazy time, and some of the models simply did not get. I think so only now with the H40 series that was launched last year, they have started to give updates slightly better. So I hope Motorola now in the future pays attention to the update. Yes, they have told that with the Edge 50 series, now the updates will be improved, and even they are giving 3 Android upgrades. Earlier, if I recall, they were just giving 2 Android upgrades. So hopefully, let's see how it goes. But I think so that's the thing with the Motorola phones that people have in the back of their mind regarding Android updates, because some of the models didn't get updated, and some got updates after 7, 8 months. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Harsh. If given a choice to change this tech channel into any other category with same subscribers and same audience retention, which category would you choose? Harsh, if I have to change this channel from just tech to something else, I would say I would go into green energy, solar energy, battery tech, and all those things. In fact, if you see, I have been posting stuff about solar and all the, and there's a lot of things that are going into this, and I'm also very passionate about it. I have put 2 solar plants and all these things. So I think so that is something that I feel is a good thing. And I think so many people in India need to put up solar, because we as a country will become one of the global superpowers in the next decade or whatever, will be in the top 3. And the amount of energy that we will be consuming is going to be enormous as a country. And I don't want our country to just put more and more coal plants and add pollution. I don't want our entire India to become like Delhi, what pollution levels it has. So there I feel solar energy is going to play a very big vital role. The green energy, the battery, there is a lot of innovation going on, battery technology and stuff like that. So yeah, that would be my channel category if I would have to change it, but I'm not going to do it. But I will be posting a lot more videos also, interestingly, about solar, some new battery stuff and all those things. So yeah, that is something that really interests me a lot more than the regular smartphones. Regular smartphones, what you're getting is just incremental upgrade, but here in this field there is a lot of innovation and a lot of changes happening. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Aditya. Is iQOO the most affordable device within all price range? Tell your opinion about affordability of mobiles. Aditya, I would say iQOO is nothing but a sub-brand of Vivo. Generally, if you notice, Vivo smartphones command a certain premium, and Vivo does not like to sell those smartphones below a certain price point. So iQOO is nothing but Vivo, but a brand where they can be very aggressive with the pricing, and that shows in some of the smartphones. For example, the iQOO 12, which was one of the first smartphones that was launched with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, the true flagship, long back, still has the most aggressive pricing for a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 smartphone. So yes, I would say many of the iQOO smartphones give you the best performance, I would say, best raw performance for the price. Yes, it might cut down on some of the features, might not have wireless or NFC or something like that. But yeah, generally that's what it is. Only other competitor in the Indian market is that Poco sometimes with their smartphones also follows that sort of strategy. But yeah, that's what it is. That is what iQOO is. So that's why I like some of the iQOO phones, because some of these phones just stand out of the regular competition. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Mustafa. MediaTek Dimensity versus Snapdragon, which do you think is launching good processor in the mid or premium mid-range category segments? I would say as of now, if I just look at it, the MediaTek Dimensity is doing a far better job in the mid-range smartphone market. What is Qualcomm doing is that they are just renaming their 690, 695 series of processor, or the 7 series of processor with just new names. Is indirectly the same processor. They might just add a little bit more performance to the GPU by overclocking or something, and they call it a new processor. So I feel Qualcomm is going the wrong path. I would say, I don't recall, next month Qualcomm is going to launch again a new phone with Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 or whatever they call it, new naming. I'm also it's nothing but the Snapdragon 695. They did the same shenanigans with the Snapdragon 8s Gen 3. They're just calling it 8th generation, whereas it is technically the 7 plus Gen 3 plus or Pro, they should have called it. So I feel Qualcomm is just playing around with the naming conventions. That way, I would say many of the MediaTek Dimensity mid-range processor actually are having quite a bit of value. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Pankaj. Is OnePlus 2 a good deal at current price, considering it lacks in the camera segment? Pankaj, now with the updates, the OnePlus 12 camera is also actually pretty good, and I would easily recommend the OnePlus 12 to my friends and family members without any hesitation. It's just the thing is that indirectly it is running ColorOS. if you are okay with that and it's okay, it's optimized well, you can definitely go with the OnePlus 12. Yes, I would say the camera, if I compare it with the Xiaomi 14 side by side, the Xiaomi 14 camera will go slightly ahead. But again, I would say the OnePlus 12 camera is no slouch. In fact, the OnePlus 12's camera is, I feel, one of the best that OnePlus has put till date. So certainly you can have a look at the OnePlus 12. In fact, check out my review of the OnePlus 12. In fact, in the summary, I had said that I won't be surprised if the OnePlus 12 will be among the top 5 smartphones of 2024. And I think so. That statement still holds true. Anyways, moving to this next one. This is by Vishal. He's asking, with the advent of Gemini and ChatGPT, these are AI tools, where do you see the relevance of devices like Amazon Echo, Dots, or Alexa? I would say I am really hoping. I'll just switch off my Alexa, otherwise it will go crazy over here. Let me just mute it. Okay, it's muted. Yeah, I actually use Amazon Alexa. It's all over my house. I have about 5 or 6 Alexa throughout the house because home automation, lights, etc. we can control. But I would say apart from that, just asking weather stuff, controlling lights, home automation, Amazon Alexa is dumb. And I hope Amazon implements Gemini or ChatGPT to make it really interesting, I would say. These personal assistants are just too handicapped. Many of the stuff that we ask, it simply says it cannot answer. But once they have this sort of intelligence, they will become a lot more useful, and you can converse with them in regular language. For example, I have a lot of home automation. For example, let's say there is one particular light. I just say, Alexa, switch on that X light. So it switches on. But I can't say, Alexa, switch on that X light after 20 minutes. If I say commands like that, simple things like that, it is not able to have that intelligence. So I feel these devices, these Amazon Alexas and all these things, once they get this sort of intelligence, they will be like 10x more useful. Right now, Alexa is there, but again, to be very frank, we just use it for home automation, asking mundane stuff like that. What's the weather? What is this? Or set an alarm and basic stuff like that. But apart from that, they're hardly a true assistant. And I hope if Amazon is able to implement this general intelligence in this, these will be actually true assistants, like the Jarvis in Iron Man. I hope we get to that stage. Anyways, this is by Gaurav. He's asking, should I go with the Moto Edge 50 Fusion or any other option? The Moto Edge 50 Fusion, for the price, is actually a very good phone. In fact, it's very stylish also. In fact, it looks a lot more premium. In fact, I have it over here. Yeah, this is the Moto Edge 50 Fusion. In fact, it looks a lot more expensive than what it is. So that way I like it, but as of now there are some bugs on the phone. For example, the battery stats are out of the whack, though the battery life is good, and I've noticed some UI stutters also at times, not always, maybe about 3 or 4% times. So I hope Motorola fixes those things with OTA update. Rest, I really like the hardware on this smartphone. In fact, I have recommended this smartphone to some of my relatives who were very strict that they didn't want to spend over 20,000, max 20 to 25,000, and I've recommended them, and overall they are happy with it. The other smartphone that I can recommend in this price range is the Nothing Phone 2A. But I feel the Nothing Phone 2A is a little bit more quirky. This feels a lot more elegant, I would say. So if I'm recommending to some or elders or something, they will personally like this. So this looks a lot more elegant, whereas the Nothing Phone 2A, though it's decent, I would say, but I feel the camera is better on this one. So yes, first pick is this, but there are some bugs with this one. Not deal breaker, but there are some known bugs. I hope Motorola fixes it. So this is my first option, and the second will be the Nothing Phone 2A. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Akshay. What's the hype around TV? Saw 8K TV last week in the mall. What should be the approach of a normal user before buying it? I would say forget about 8K television, and this is coming from a person who owns 8K television for last 2 years. to be very frank, it's just an hype, I would say. You hardly have any content, and to notice that minor sharpness in the difference from a regular distance, you will simply not notice. So I will personally, I would say, not recommend anyone to go for a 8K TV as of now. If you really want to go for those premium end TVs, go for the good 4K television with OLED. Now, Samsung is also having some very good OLED. In fact, recently upgraded one of my TV with the flagship Samsung's OLED, that is the S95D. Watch my video, excellent. LG also has actually very, very good OLED series. If you really want to spend a little, the G4 series is also a top-notch TV. But as of now, I will not suggest anyone to spend on a 8K television. It's just hype, because this is coming from a person who has a 8K TV almost 2 years when it was launched. That stupid hype and very high prices I had got it. So yeah, that's what it is. This is by Flame Ninja. He's asking, my friend wants to buy the Xiaomi 14CV and is confused between that and the Moto Edge 15 Pro. Price is not a factor. Okay, Moto Edge 50 Pro. I would say there's a big difference. The Moto Edge 50 Pro is just 30,000, whereas the Xiaomi 14CV, even with the card discount, is 40,000. But as you're telling, your what do you say, friend does not have a budget issue, I would say I will opt the Civi, because the build quality is very, very good. Camera is good. I think this is the first time also the front-facing cameras are so good on a Xiaomi phone. In fact, the front camera on this one are even better than the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, which is their flagship, I would say. In fact, they are so good, I won't mind shooting my vlogging videos or whatever with this smartphone. So I would say, if camera is a priority, camera is a high priority, then I would go with the Xiaomi 14 CV. The only big con that I have from the Xiaomi 14 CV is that Xiaomi 14 CV does not have that IP67 or the 68 rating, whereas if I recall, the Moto Edge 50 Pro has that. So make a decision. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is the last question. This is by Bhargav. He's asking, is it worth able to purchase a Apple Watch Series 9 or any model nowadays due to health consciousness, and or is it fine even with Samsung Watch and afterwards GPS plus cellular, or only GPS, which is better purchase, and the Pro model or the non-Pro model, which is the best? Bhargav, it depends on what kind of smartphone you are using. If you're using a iPhone, you will have to go with the Apple Watch, and I would say you can go with any of the Series 9. To be very frank, you really don't have to go with the Pro one, because to be very frank, for the slightly better battery that you get on the Pro, it's just half a day, it's almost double the price, and so it simply does not make sense. If I were you, I would go with the Apple Watch Series 9, I would say. Again, there is an advantage of having the cellular one. That way, when you're running and stuff, the phone need not be in your pocket. So if you're doing a lot of outdoor activities like morning jogs and stuff, then maybe you can go with the cellular one. But if it's not like that, then even the regular one will work. But again, if you are on the Android side, yes, you can have a look at the Samsung Galaxy Watch series, but I would suggest just wait, because again, the July 10th model, they will be, I've heard that they'll be updating their entire lineup of smartwatches. So again, if you're on the Android ecosystem, just wait and see what Samsung does. And generally what happens when they release a new series, the older series pricing falls down drastically. So if you just wait, you will get the older one at a discounted price. Anyways, guys, that's it for now for this tech Q&A session. And guys, if you're still not subscribed to this YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.